A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answer. Say something, but never do. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive. The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Send me is January 2027. No, not that quite. The birthday, but this. What was the day they left? It was January 10th. 5, 7, it's past one. So they had to go for that bullshit.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
They had pretty good loot. They had pets. Pretty good TV. Is the TV on books? The TV's on books.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
It's just a bathroom.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Okay, so everything seems to at least got that. So things was a good enough connection. I was worried.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
That's gross.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
God, it's dark in here. Aren't those usually plastic? I've never seen any of these are real. I wouldn't do that.
I kept eating and eating.
Toothpaste is pretty good though.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
This gerbil shit next to it.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
You know, I have to eat it.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Who just puts berries in a fucking bathroom? Wait. Yeah, I'm sure that's fine. Nightshade's not.
I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
I guess where they got TV, it looked quite a bit different.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
Oh, I can't do the cat thing.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. His face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
I need to watch her, or I shall die.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Where'd he go? There's a little fucker.
I grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Suddenly, the Fire Nation attacked.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Gobble 'em up and eat 'em later. Gobble 'em up and eat 'em later.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here. This will be obvious later, but My mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
I just don't think this lady wants to let go. She's trying for every one of her pets. Jesus Christ.
We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
Her room was like a museum. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Shrine sketches.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Built before the house. Because there's the house back there and there's the cemetery.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
carpeted bathroom floors. Just no. There's a secret in the bathroom.
In the cupboard. It's hidden. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Oh, so they built a red room in space. Probably be a pretty good use of space behind walls. Looks like Milton was here as well. Did Milton go for all of this?
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Hopefully not on that. It's pedals. Hopefully not on that swing set.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Jackson, nightshade isn't
Okay,
poisonous,
I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
Gang of hoodlums and Halloween
That
masks have
probably
been
killed this
terrorizing
starving
Orcas
child.
Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
Nightshade in a funky bathroom.
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep
I think
winding
Sven, the father of
and
this, made the Resident
winding
Evil mansion.
until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she found the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she... So, hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Back in Molly's room. Molly's already dead, though.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow.
That's how that
Wasn't
broke.
moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Gotta go finish the cutting off. What kind of shitty ass furniture is this?
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Probably in the basement. Or you'd be hiding in the library.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
That's a bit bad taste.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Or maybe Edie's just a crazy fucking cunt.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
So some aspect of that has to be true, because the thing actually is broken right here. Wait, so did someone from the family do an interview with them? How would they know the music box was a key? Was it Edie? Been the only person alive during that time to do it. Quite the basement.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
I guess this is where she paints all the portraits for where Edie painted the portraits for the dead family members.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
What?
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Diggly darn fallout shelter?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
It's a full fucking fallout shelter. An exercise bike. Yeah, I don't think I'm going down there yet. So, Walter,
Goodbye,
would you
everyone.
stop farting, you
I can't
fucking
believe I've been
disgusting-
down here for
No,
30
he's
years.
the human excrement.
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
It's like a New York apartment.
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today.
Did the dude just get peaches every day?
I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
It was a train
Even a
system.
monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal.
Yeah, that's not what he thinks
Almost
it is.
friendly.
It's literally a train,
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone.
All the families
Maybe you
seem to
got
have
tired
freckles on the
of
hands.
waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Because Molly did and Walter does. The one who died by going into a
It's been a week now,
was too.
the longest in 30 years.
Oh my god, 30
I'm done
years.
waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
He's making a model train set. Looks like what I do with Gundams, actually. I guess that's like how things are done always. Right? What do you do down here for 30 years for entertainment? Just becoming fucking build kids?
Yes. He also became a slave.
Jackson, I want you to think about that thing. He's been down here for 30 years. How would you get... There's a lot of books down here. You probably
Yes.
read.
A lot. He probably has finished every single book there. 30 years, I could finish
I know it's
those
out there
books in
somewhere.
2
Oh
months.
god. Oh yes, Jack. Finish all these books in 2 months. It just keeps going.
Yeah. It's not that bad. None of those look
Whatever killed
any
Barbara.
longer than Animal Farm, which took me an hour.
These old one there. You got some there.
There's quite a few of them that are as thin as Animal Farm.
There is, but there's a lot of them that are thick.
Yeah, and it doesn't take me that long to read through books.
Jackson, the Dark Defense.
The Dark Defense. Warding away spheres, malevolent monsters, echoes from afar.
Oh my god, he has a book of the Finch Curse. Do you think them always focusing on the Finch Curse is what's causing all these travesties, Jackson?
Hey, Nick.
You think, therefore, it is?
And Molly.
I think they're all just a bunch
And
of bird
Calvin.
brains.
I want to go. I want to see what's down here. Oh, this is where he throws all his shit and garbage.
Takes all his shits.
Yeah, he literally takes his. He poos, takes his shit, puts it here. Here's a sledgehammer.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Yeah, he got hit by a train. He wrote this before he went to go do that.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Protect you from what? The truth!
No, the Finch Curse. Seems everyone believes in it, dies from it. Except for Edith.
Maybe she was afraid I'd
Edith
end up
Senior.
like Walter.
Is he? Looks like he did quite a bit of the train sets, Jack. The ironic, he died to a train.
Yeah.
But if she never told me about an uncle under the
Oh god, the
house,
smell down here.
I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Imagination.
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
This lady's pregnant, I'm pretty sure.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else.
Oh no,
But
it's
now
a
I'm
train.
worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
What the fuck happened to this?
Been down for a while.
Probably a rock slide or something.
I don't know if I should even be writing
Well,
this.
she's only 17. So it happened within the last 11 years. 'Cause
Maybe
Walter
it'd be
died
better
when
if
she
all
was
this
6.
just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
I think these are supposed to be totems of dead family members.
And the history you're a part of.
I think that's Molly.
Is this Edith Finch?
Yeah, Edith Finch is one telling the story, but I don't think Edith Finch is one reading the story. No, here's Molly, Calvin, Barbara. It was a totem of the dead family members. Holy shit. Oh my god.
That's not morbid at all.
I know. Oh my god. Oh, look, there's a nice little town over there. I can see it. Can I go there instead? No. You are not allowed.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them.
I thought the
for
power was
what
turned off.
that's worth.
Oh, they're solar.
Oh, I forgot I could do that.
Wait, they solar and motion?
Probably.
That's big cool. So yeah, y'all know something else about this place? The graveyard was built before the house.
That's not ominous
And
at all.
look at the house. That history of imagination and stubbornness and madness.
Oh, you want to see what the
Any
old
of
house
it
is?
seems possible.
It's over there. They tried to sail it from Norway to here. And the father of the, like...
They tried to sail the ship.
No, they tried to sail a house. It was like you towing a car. But instead of a car, it's a mansion, and instead of a car...
I think we've been surrounded by death for
instead
so
of a truck
long,
towing
we've
it, it's a
just
boat.
gotten used to it.
Whose bike is that?
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Yeah, I gathered that one was looking for like a slideshow.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are
No,
mine.
Bailey!
2 had been my fault.
What? It's Charlie. There's Bailey.
Bailey, no! It was a dog too! Was it a white boxer? Yo!
That one was gone before you
Oh,
were
go! God damn it.
Another one that was gone before you were even alive. Derpy and Derpy juices.
Were those the 2 that were her fault? No.
Burpy, Chirpy. Burpee, Lurpee,
Zerpy. I think the one who was her fault was probably Charlie. The cat. Oh, is there a second? Is there a
Chris?
Pop? Pop. Oh, I think the frogs fell over. But where's the one for Molly? The cat Molly, not the human Molly.
Somewhere. I don't know.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Oh. A Broadway star. That feels a bit disgusting for some reason. Maybe it's because this is the hole where he got hit by a train.
Well, when you come, you guys get to stop and I take it John went home already.
Yeah. Who made this for her, though? Because she died before she... Or did she make this before she died? Or herself?
Or maybe she left the design.
Oh! Molly Finch and the cat Molly get the same great tombstone. Isn't that lovely, Jackson?
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
That was a mansion. Stop calling it a fucking house. Well, I mean, look at what kind of house she grew up in.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
They're all dead. 8 more dead children. I think Gus might be it. No, wait, no. That's a child. Oh, that's a dead child. Look, Jackson. That's a dead child. That's a 1-year-old dead child.
Who's his family even alive?
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
I just think they're a bunch of irresponsible people. Because I think Molly's death was totally her mom's fault.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing,
I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Why are you doing this? This branch can break. Oh my god. Like, how soon is 22 weeks pregnant, Jack?
Pregnancy, so
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
36. She's about 3 months away from term.
Why would you come do this?
Because she's a big dumb idiot.
Oh, the store isn't locked.
They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Is that... He has shotgun shells, but I don't see a shotgun.
Indeed.
Oh, is that Molly the cat? It's one of the cats.
That's thunder.
I'm gonna do this one last one and then stop for a bit.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What? Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
Jack.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
Oh, it's Odin Finch. It's a national park for Odin Finch.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw.
Shit.
It is.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Is that where they're camping? Not gonna lie, pretty sweet camping spot.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Well, where is it? Oh, a picture of her.
Dad,
Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Jesus.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Fuck.
This is why you double tap!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Yeah, Dawn's your mom, right? So, she had two birds die, watched her dad die. Jesus fucking Christ.
This bitch is fucked up.
Wait, why do you take it to get developed? Don't they, like, have their own red room? I believe they have red room somewhere.
Yes, they had a red room somewhere.
Yeah, they had a red room. But I guess since, it was connected to Sam and Calvin's room, I don't think Calvin wanted to go back to it. I don't know, if we had a room that I died in and that's where you got your photos developed, would you go back in there?
Yeah.
I see you don't care if I was alive or dead. Done.
Okay. I literally would just forget you ever existed at some point.
Oh no, he couldn't. Because he had a perfect time capsule literally right across from his bed every morning he woke up. That's the kind of situation he was in. He couldn't forget it.
Are you doubting my ability to forget human existence?
Alright, well, we're good to go. Where you going?
I forgot I have a union meeting today.
Oh.
No, go, Dad, go.
Run, Father.
What do you want us to do? Because I'm pretty much at a stopping point.
Okay, there's food cooking in the oven, so you need to keep an eye on that.
Got it.
And I was going to make bread, but the kitchen needs clean.
Again.
Yes.
You want me to bake the bread?
You can try.
Good emphasis on the word try.
Just make the simplest thing you can find.
Okay. I'm gonna stop the stream now.